Alright, let's talk Brimstone Spoilers. So, as I said in my review video, there was a lot of time dedicated to the blood court. The first half of the book, it felt like, was all about the blood court and what are we going to do about it and what's our plans for it and what is Sayrus going to do, and Sayrus needs to establish dominance, and we need to figure out what to do with the Lords of Midnight, and yada yada, the list goes on. And then Tao not poisons, but Tao gives them all the antidote that either kills them or makes them Fae again. And it's a wrap. That's the end of it. Some of them die, and some of them decide that, okay, I'm gonna be Fae again, and we don't ever go back. That's just how it wraps. I don't understand why we spent so much time and energy into the blood court if it was gonna wrap up so pristine and easy for Sayrus and Fisher. Do you think that it's going to come back in book 3? I have theories on that. I think that we're not done with the blood court as much as it feels like we are in this moment. I'm also wondering what happened to the vamps that turned Fae. Do they come back into play? Who are they going to be loyal to? Are they going to go back to their old lives and like nothing happened? Are they going to be loyal to Belicon? Are they going to be loyal to Sayrus because she ended up being their final queen? Or they going to give the middle finger to everyone and just go do their own thing? Are we never going to see them again? What's happening with them? We never get resolution there. So there was a lot of time dedicated for it to have just wrapped so cleanly. What are your thoughts? Please share with me. Let me know what you're thinking when it comes to that. The other thing is Adina's book. So I had posted a TikTok saying, how did Adina's book get there? Sayrus gets the book. Sayrus and Fisher both know about it now. And they just go on living their lives. No one asks any questions. It's just, oh, yeah, this is the book that, my mom wrote for Sayrus. Great. Next. And that's just, they just take it as it is. They take it at face value. But how did it get there? Like, someone commented and was like, keep reading, it'll make sense later. I kept reading, listening. I got to the end, I finished, it still doesn't make sense. I understand the stargazers turned into the book pages, and that's how it became the book. I understand that. Point made. My question is, or my point is, the book had to have been written and then taken to the vampire library and then turned into the stargazer birds and magic bestowed on them, and now they're flying around in the vampire library and they're just hanging out there for thousands of years until Sayrus finally comes along and here you go, here's your book. And it's so very easy too. She just kind of walks in and it's like they already know who she is and they just got to get a little scratch of her blood and confirm that yes, that's her, and then here's your book. There you go. Like, it's so very easy, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, how did it get there? It doesn't make sense. The only thing I can think of after having finished it is that with the way the book ended, with Fisher and Sayrus being in Diaxis, and Fisher saying, take me to father, and us finding out that there's a link between Diaxis and one of the Lords of Midnight, that maybe somehow Adina and Fisher's father, went on a visit to the Blood Court and dropped the book off. I don't know. How did it get there? And why did no one ask questions? Why did everyone just go on their merry way? What did I miss? Make it make sense. So, the other thing is the Hazrax. What the heck is it? Is it like some super witch? Is it a god? Is it a combination of the two? Will we find out what it is? I think it's going to play a big part in book 3. I don't know if it's going to be a make or break part in book 3, but I definitely think it's gonna play a big part in book 3. I think that, and this may be an unpopular opinion, and I apologize in advance that we don't agree. We'll agree to disagree, but I think that Saris, using the rune that the Hazrax gave her to bring back Onyx, while the animal lover in me understands the feelings there, I think that's going to come back to bite her later. I think there's going to come a time in book 3 when she's going to really need that, and it's going to be bad for her. It's one of those, it feels like it's going to be one of those moments where we're going to lose one of the main characters that we have come to love, in my opinion. Hopefully not, but we'll see. What do you think? The other thing I'm wondering, going back to the Blood Court, is if there is no more Blood Court, right? Because they've either died or become vampires. Why did the Hazrax make a point to gift Saris with the Lord of Midnight ring and tell her to make sure Foley got it? There's no more Lords of Midnight because there's no more Blood Court. So why does he need the ring? Why is he gonna need it later? What's he gonna need it for? Did the Hazrax put some kind of magic into it that's gonna come into play later? Or is there more that's happening behind the scenes with the Blood Court? Maybe Malcolm's not really dead. Maybe that's why Everlane's still in her deep sleep. Maybe, I don't know. Something's going on there that we're not seeing. I feel like it's a little bit of foreshadowing. So we shall see how that plays out. If you have theories around that, please let me know. I would love to hear them. So, my other thing, and this one is not a big thing, but it's the fire sprites. I really liked the way that Archer was brought to life. I really liked his character. And so the final scenes that we have with Archer, if those are well and true to be the final scenes, I feel like it's a shit send-off. So I'm wondering, I'm hoping that they survive the rot, since we know that Brimstone can stop the rot. But we also know that they all dipped on Kalish because the rot was taking over, but all the fire sprites stayed down in their homes and their brimstone pits, or I don't remember how it was described, but they all stayed behind. So did they survive, or did the rot take over? I don't know. I also think it's like a nod that they made a point to say that the fire sprites are dwindling down. There aren't as many as there used to be. It almost feels like they're going to have a hero arc in book 3, and that they're going to help and play a part in the fight against the rot. What do you think? And are you gonna miss are you gonna miss Archer? And do you feel like if the final scenes that we have with Archer were worthy of a send-off? I don't think they were, if that's the last that we hear of him. And then the final quote, the way the book ends. Are we to take Father literally or metaphorically? So, as I said in my book review, throughout Brimstone, and it started in Quicksilver, but throughout Brimstone, it had felt like Fisher was holding something back. He was keeping something from his friends, and he was keeping something from Cyrus. And with the way the book ends in Diaxis, he definitely was keeping something back. With that last quote lends someone to believe that, yeah, he's been holding a big secret. So when he says, take me to Father, or whatever the exact verbiage was, is it an actual father? Or when he went through the Quicksilver the first time when he was a child, did some type of allegiance or servitude take place? And so it's a metaphorical father. So we know that Kingfisher is favored by the gods. We know that Kingfisher is the god's champion. So now the question is he favored in the champion because of the conversation that we heard with Cyrus, right? That they always end up together and they could see their paths, and so they knew what Fisher's story was going to be, and that's why they favored him, and that's why they made him champion? Or is it because he's half God, because of who his true father is, and that's why they made him champion? What are your thoughts? Are there any other theories that you have out there? Are there any other questions that you have? Tell me what you think. What did I miss? What should I have paid attention to? What should I pay attention to on my reread? Because I'm going to actually read the book again. I'll probably end up reading both books, honestly, before the third book comes out, because I like to have it all top of mind and fresh before I dive into the newest book. So at some point I'm going to revisit both books. What should I be paying attention to? What should I be taking note of in my mind going into the third book? Tell me your thoughts, tell me your feelings, tell me your opinions. If you agree with anything that I said, hit the like button. If you disagree or you have other theories, drop a comment, let me know. I'd appreciate it. Until next time, thanks.